We had the Premiership coach with us last week, and now we've got the Brownlow medalist from 2022 and the captain of the Blues, Paddy Cripps. Welcome on the couch, mate. What a start to the season.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Yeah, mate, it was a weird feeling, to be honest. I've only ever played in one draw before that, and that was in the last round when it was a bit of a dead rubber. So to kick round one off, it was a weird feeling. It was pretty empty, to be honest, afterwards. It was sort of used when it's a big crowd. There was 90,000 there, then you could hear a pin drop as soon as the siren went. So, yeah, unusual way to start, but, yeah, a lot to learn and things to like as well.
Did you have a sense that it was one that you let go, or were you satisfied that 2 points might have been just about right?
It's a funny one. I felt like, in terms of the game, the way it was played, Richmond probably won the territory battle. So, in a way, I felt like you're sort of happy with the 2 points, but then the position we're in late in the game probably feels like one that might have got away from us. So, you can look at it two different ways. But, yeah, now the results happen, you sort of, I suppose, take the positive sort of outlook, and you look forward ahead to Geelong. But there's definitely some lessons from the game that you want to take out, and also, like I said before, things to like that we worked on over the summer.
Vossi claimed after the game in the press conference that if you'd have played the same game last year, you would have lost by 6 goals. What does he mean by that?
Yeah, I think it was just, like I said before, like the territory battle. We lost the territory battle in terms of inside 50s, and we probably put our defence under a fair bit of pressure. And I think what he was referring to there is our defensive system, especially our back six, but our team defence, the way it held up. I think that's 60-odd inside 50s. And to be able to absorb that and sort of absorb their momentum, probably in previous sort of years, that momentum turns out to 6 or 7 goals in a row where I think especially in that third quarter when they came out at half-time, we were able to sort of absorb that and put a few goals back on them and get back in the arm wrestle. And, yeah, so I think that's things we worked on sort of as a team defence, and especially our back six. And I thought our back six was really super throughout the game.
I know you're closer to your next game than that game, but I've got to go through this last play with you. When Wettering's taken the mark in the back 50 and exits to Jesse Motlop. There's about a minute and a half on the clock here, and that was great body work there to get back. Actually, it was McGovern who took the mark. If we pause there, so it's a minute 30 on the clock, and signs go up on the interchange bench, and we sort of assume that there's a strategy around leaders or rotations getting that information around. But what's Jesse Motlop expected to do there? What's coached?
Yeah, it's a hard one because you don't want to sort of isolate the individual, especially a young player. But you know, as a team, especially with you know, not long left on the clock, it's sort of that composure. Especially when it's come at a D50 with a bit of pace. Right option to hit Mott's there, but you know, we can find another mark there and help set up the ground. Would be ideal, and you know, as a team, we've already reflected on this sort of vision, and it's probably different. You know, there's 4 or 5 minutes left on the clock, and you're still trying to put another goal on to win the game. But yeah, Harry Marks is probably not talked about, but at the same time, win or lose, you still reflect the situation and unpack it. And yeah, look, if those boys had their time again, I'm sure they'd do it different. But at the same time, I think when you look at this vision, everyone looks at the stuff with the ball. But you know, there's a lot of choices also. It was me included, but behind the ball, how we can squeeze the ground up. And there is mistakes happening in game. That's the nature of footy. But there's definitely things behind the ball that we could have also done better as leaders and players that can fix error like that. So yeah, I don't really love singling out those boys because everyone makes mistakes. But as a group, yeah, definitely a good situation early in the year to keep learning from.
Now, Harry Mackay, like that, even that run and spread the space for a big fella so late in the game that had high transition. I mean, that's awesome for him to be able to do that. But those big fellas, you're relying on them stoppage to that aerial power inside forward 50. What are those two capable of this year? Can they go to another level again?
I think so. You know, they both had full pre-seasons, which, as you know, in AFL, it sets up a year. And even last year was their first year really playing footy together, and they both had really good years. So just more time with that chemistry. But you just saw him, like you said, it was a high transition game, than him for Big H to sort of get on the jets and run like that. Like, he's 205 and he's really quick and can move. So it's a bit of a luxury to have both of them up and fire, and they're both very different, but they do complement each other very well.
I'm interested in Tom DeConing's story, Cripps. So he played on the weekend as the first choice ruckman, and obviously can play forward a little bit. You know, how's he been able to handle all the speculation around behind the scenes, his role? How's that all travelling for him? Because obviously he's been a big storyline so far in the season for Carlton.
Yeah, no, he's done well. He's a bit like what I chatted about with Harry and Charlie. He's had a full pre-season, which is his first one as a player. He's 24, and the situation he's going through at the moment, that's sort of probably new to him. He's still pretty young, and there's definitely a lot of noise sort of externally, but the thing that we're sort of preaching to him right now is just focus on playing good footy, try and block out the external and keep enjoying what you do. And the situation he's in, I've been in myself, where you're out of contract and there's a lot of talk there, but end of the day, they're big life decisions, and he'll do it when the time's right for him and make the best choice for him. So it's our job, especially as leaders around the club, to make sure he keeps having fun, enjoys it, and not let the external sort of get to him too much. You
had a great year last year, culminated in the Brownlow medal, but you had the moment through the middle where you had the bump and it was hotly debated. You tell us in the ad break that you watched a bit of footy. So what do you make of the Pickett and the other fellow?
McAdam from Adelaide.
When you see that, I mean, what as a senior voice in football right now, what's your reaction to that?
I think the reaction is you always want to look after the player, and then I suppose the thing is, I've always been big on, are they going for the ball, or is it an action that gets them head high? So, look, you never want to see players hurt. I can guarantee, even when you guys played, you never want to see someone get injured, do you? So, it's sort of it's a tricky one, but you want guys going hard for the ball, but there's also, I suppose, a duty of care when you choose to bump.
Yeah, and given this environment of concussion, and you would be aware of all the discussions we're having, are you satisfied that 2 weeks is an appropriate penalty in this instance, and one for Buddy? Now, I don't want to get you into trouble, so you don't have to talk specifically about those instances, but in broader terms, are you satisfied that the AFL have got their head as a priority?
I think the AFL is doing a lot of good stuff around trying to protect the player. We had the Captain's Day the other day, and the research and that, like it's the unknown, isn't it? Like it is. There's a lot of sort of I suppose research that's gone back in the day when I suppose you guys were playing and the head injuries, but like it's still unknown, the whole thing. And I think they're putting measures in place to try and protect players' well-being. So I think the AFL is doing all they can, but it's still I think the whole concussion stuff's still unknown. But I think club doctors, AFL are doing their part to try and I suppose help players as much as they can with it. Yeah,
I know it's a hard question for you. McAdam, we're told, is going straight to the tribunal, so we'll talk to Johnny Ralph when he comes about that specifically.
You'd be anticipating greater transition in the game, but you don't want to lose what is a one wood in your contested work. Your body shape and your body size, have you found an optimal playing weight, do you reckon?
Yeah, I've definitely played around with it over the years, but I feel like now I've sort of got an optimal weight that I like to sort of to play at. But it's sort of the game definitely is a bit of a transition game at the moment, but there's still areas of where it's high contest and high stoppage, and I think when you play the best sides, there's still that really competitive sort of stoppage game because both teams defend at a high level, which creates contest. So it's just finding your place in the system and the role in the team that sort of, as you know, as being a coach, you try and maximise players' strengths and build a system around that sort of gets the best out of your side. So that's what we're sort of playing around with at the moment, and it's obviously second year under Vossi, but we feel like the whole sort of system's evolving well.
Is the game more enjoyable for you to play when it's high scoring? It wasn't high scoring on Thursday night, but as players, is it more enjoyable now that we're getting faster movement and maybe higher scores?
I love centre bounces, so more goals, mate, the more centre bounces we get. But I think if you take myself out from playing, like as watching, it's definitely, I've been really enjoying footy to watch. I think everyone would say the same thing. I think when people make changes, rule changes, everyone hates change at the start, but once you get the actual product and what happens, people enjoy it. And I think, you speak to all footy fans right now, they're enjoying watching the footy.
We're going to run out of time with him, mate. We've got so many things we wanted to have a chat with you about. So quickly, Sam Walsh, where's he sitting?
No, he's going well, mate. He's everything's gone to plan with him, so he's just doing a conditioning sort of block to get himself ready to roll. So he looks great, to be honest. He's a pro, so he's going to put himself.
How many weeks? Round 4, round 5.
I'll let you. I'll let the medical report dictate that. But he's close. He's not that far away, so he's going well. And he doesn't want to come back. He wants to come back and get ready to dominate. So
you boys are going to kick off Gather Round, so it's a big, it's something new. And you've been over to South Australia. You did your bit. You did a little bit of promotional work. Jumped in a shark cage. What's that all about?
Yeah, I went over a few weeks ago, so I got the opportunity to jump in the shark cage, and it's always been a bit of a bucket list. It was actually an amazing experience. I don't know if you guys have done it before, but it was definitely got the adrenaline going, and to see him
How
in real life.
close did you get, the big fella?
I reckon I got a metre away from one of them at one point. They're huge, mate. It's good experience, good day out.
Put your head over the ball there, mate.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
And membership is always, the payoff here. We love having you on here, but it's about selling this membership. And the Carlton fans are up. They're up and about, mate. I see it and hear it every morning on radio. They're pretty vocal.
No, it's great. We got our first home game this week against Geelong, so they're passionate. As a kid, you always love playing in front of big crowds, and Carlton is as big as it gets. So they're loyal. We love them, and looking forward to them to cheering loud on Thursday night.
You're doing an outstanding job leading this footy club, mate. We thank you for coming in tonight, and good luck Thursday night against the Cats. It's going to be a belter.
Nice. Cheers, guys.
Paddy Cripps joining us on the couch.